reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
Ding.
In 3, what's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Tell people about the show with your host, Komp and
Thea.
Today's film is...
Nope.
What?
Are we doing Nope?
Yes, Nope. See, that was a joke. Nope, 2022. This comedy on this series. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. Directed and written by Jordan Peele, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Brandon Pera, as well as Stephen Yeun and a whole bunch of other people. So, why are we doing Nope?
Because it's brand new and it's Jordan Peele and it's a lot of fun.
Jordan Peele. So there are a lot of new horror, or so-called boutique horror, or the latest type of horror, gets shit on by, I guess, quote-unquote real horror fans, and I don't think that's true for most part. It's just the most vocal ones are online.
Right.
The ones that'll be like, oh my god, the Conjuring is the greatest horror movie, The Nun is the greatest horror movie all time. All these fucking horror movies are all the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
They do not like the drama and the suspense of, say, an Ari Aster film, or a Robert Eggers, or a Jordan Peele film, which has nuance and interesting aspects to it. Even though movies like fucking Rosemary's Baby, The fucking Exorcist, and The Shining were all similarly dramatic films with horror elements.
Auteur films, kind of.
Yeah, basically auteur films, but those, since they were in the past, of course.
Yeah.
They're nothing like Friday the 13th Part 85. Now that's a real horror movie. And I don't mean to shit on the movie, because I like all aspects of horror movies.
Yeah.
If they're done good, I fucking like a good Friday the 13th. I like a good Nightmare on Elm Street movie. If they're done really well, you don't have to be fucking classical works of art. Just like I like the new Suspiria, I like it just like the old Suspiria. Although I think the new Suspiria is a little bit better, but that's a controversial, aspect. Jordan Peele gets a lot of shit because his films, and I think it was only for the first film, dealt with racial issues.
Right.
And of course, from then on, anything Jordan Peele is going to do, just because he's a black man, I actually believe he's biracial. Whatever he's going to do, all of a sudden, because of the internet, is going to call it Mr. Woke Man. And also, he was quoted saying, I don't think I would ever cast a white person in my film, so that'll just add fuel to the fire of this type of film. So there is a legitimately a white person in this movie, the bad guy from The Crow. Offensive. Did you ever see The Crow?
No.
Oh, see The Crow. Brandon Lee's great movie. Beautiful movie. Alex Proyas' arguably only good movie. So he's getting a lot of shit for this movie, and this is already automatically seen as a woke film, although I don't... There are aspects of ethnicity and racism in this film, but it's not like Get Out, which was an indictment of mostly leftist culture. It was an indictment on the right culture, because it was about liberals that are... faking that they
performative validation.
Not faking, performative validation, where they love black people so much that they would rather be in their skin than actually know them. So that's what that was about. But of course, people think, white people are evil. It's not. Watch the film and you can see, if you actually pay attention, what the fuck it's about. Us, I don't know. People were saying that there was a political element about it. I couldn't tell what the political element of that movie was. It might have been about. It might have been about lower income people or something like that. I have no clue. You tell me what that political element is.
Yeah.
Because that whole movie and I don't want to spill what that movie's about, but it's like, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what the political element about that film is, because it seemed like more of a standard horror film. Not as good as this one, but I thought the performances were pretty cool and it had some interesting aspects to it.
Yeah.
So this is Jordan Peele's third film, Nope, and people were really interested because the whole thought of the movie was going to be Nope, or they were selling it like if it was a African American version of what was that movie? With D.B. Sweeney, where he gets sucked up into space and he gets abducted by the fucking aliens. The Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Yes.
Which
it seemed like it's going to be a straight up and down alien movie.
Fire in the Sky itself was an interesting film. I felt it was like two movies, and the most interesting aspect happens 20 minutes towards the end, and that was it. But other than that, so Nope. Why don't we get into the storyline of Nope? What happens in Nope, Thea?
Off the top, we're introduced to this. What is it called? They have like a horse
Haywood?
stable where they train horses
Yeah,
for
it's a
movies.
Haywood training, right?
And it's Daniel Kaluuya and his dad, and his dad gets
The incredible
killed.
Keith David.
The incredible Keith David. I love him so much.
He's awesome.
He gets killed by something that falls out of the sky,
It's a coin, right? Or something
which
like
ends
that?
up which ends up being a quarter. And
quarter, right.
they think it fell out of a plane, and it just happened to hit him and kill him. Basically,
They said it was a prop plane.
Yes.
Halfway in, and I'm like, what the fuck is a prop plane? I guess.
Who knows?
Is it a plane that carries props for movies and shit? I don't know what that means necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just, I guess it could have been a movie plane that they were transporting from one place to another. But either way, it was not true.
Please continue.
And so Daniel Kaluuya's character is named Otis.
OJ.
Yeah, OJ.
Otis Jr. Basically.
He and his sister inherit the ranch and have to take it over, but they don't really know what they're doing. She doesn't really want anything to do with the business, and he is not good with people, and we see that fairly quickly.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out what to do with their fledgling business because the father was, the main focus of making everything was work. And I really like Kaluuya's performance in this because he seems to be very introverted kind of character.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to sell, being like that quiet and reserved and sort of imperceptible.
And he's fucking great. Like
He's so good.
I'm still trying to figure out how this guy can be in, like, he was in Get Out and he was also in Black Panther, and you still don't see more of him in movies.
I know.
I don't know what it is, whether it's
Maybe
his
he's
choice or
maybe he's very particular in terms of what he wants to do, which is
either
fair.
way, he's fucking great
He's
in everything
very
he
good.
does, and a really good thing to see Keke Palmer here.
She's
'cause
so good.
She's fantastic in this film. Keke Palmer, I remember because I used to work at a movie theater. The first movie she was ever, or the one that I know that she was ever in, was this movie called Aquila and the Bee.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was about this girl who's in like a spelling bee contest. And I was like, okay, so I just remember it as a kid actor, right? And then she did a song for, I think, A Night at the Museum Part 2 or Part 1 called Tonight, which is like this sort of poppy, funky song. And this is fun. So she was trying to do all the aspects of that. And I think she sort of just was out of film for a while. She was fantastic. I remember her coming back to be in Scream Queens, the TV series.
Yeah.
By Ryan Murphy. And Scream Queens was one of my favorite fucking shows. Like, honestly, the first season was incredible. It was basically like Scream, but as like done properly, as opposed
was
to
a lot
the
of
actual
fun,
Scream
yeah.
show. It was fun. Second season completely fucked it up for me, at least.
Yeah.
And I think they're talking about bringing a revival, which would be fucking incredible because Scream Queens won. But if they don't follow that second season,
Right.
Anyway. So she sort of disappeared, and then she became a TV personality. She actually hosted like a morning talk show with I forget this ex-football player and this other lady, but it got canceled.
Right.
But it was good to see her come back here because she actually has there's a vibrant personality to her that she's very magnetic, and I'm glad that people are actually paying attention to her.
Yeah.
And she can hold the screen because she's fucking great in this movie. Both of them are great.
Yeah.
They have great family partnership with each other. Kaluuya and Palmer in this film play believable brothers and sister because he's trying to be serious and keep this business along, and she's just trying to get her bag, as the kids say nowadays.
Yeah.
I feel dirty just saying that because I feel like an old man saying that. But she's trying to connect, and she's one of those people that drop. This is what I do, so I can't say shit. Drops your business cards, which is probably very unprofessional for what I used to do.
I love it.
They witnessed this ominous sort of shape in the clouds. Can you talk about that aspect? Because I thought like fucking this guy Peele showed like he's incredible at this. Like this direction and just the feeling and the mood of this film was an incredible, just an amazing looking film in the first place. But please, what do they see in the clouds?
It's like a shape. It's like a circular shape that looks sort of like what we assume a spaceship would look like, based on all popular fiction. But I mean, I haven't seen it was a while ago since I saw the movie, so I'm not sure which part you're talking about.
I was just saying the very beginning when the horse runs off. Their horse, this white horse that runs off of theirs. We actually skipped over a very important aspect of the film, very pivotal aspect of a chimp that goes crazy on a sitcom, and why that figures down to the rest of the film.
Yeah, they're telling two stories at once, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw this movie, and I was dumbfounded that I did not connect both aspects of this movie together.
Yeah.
I was a fucking idiot. Because the movie begins with this chimp. You hear like this sort of commotion, and people are you know, screaming,
panicked,
or they're terrified, panicked voices.
Yep.
And you just see this ape in the middle of you can see it's like a sitcom because you can see the audience's chair. Like it was a live action sitcom, I guess in 1994 or 96. I forget when it was. And he's with blood all over him, and he's like, you know, just sitting there, and you say, what the hell did I just see? And there's like a floating shoe. I still got to find out what that floating shoe meant, because I think people actually explained it online. But anyway, back to the film. How this all correlates is that in this ranch area that Haywood occupies, there is sort of a weird westernized Disneyland that is run by Stephen Yoon's Ricky Jupe Park. I think it's called Jupiter's Claim.
Yeah.
Stephen Yoon, another fantastic actor, really great actor. I've enjoyed everything that he's in. He was in Mayhem, which is about you can see it on, I think it was on Shudder. I might be wrong. No, it was Shudder. It was on Shudder. It's about like this contagion that happens in the office business. It was a much better movie than the sort of other similar like office craziness shit. Obviously, he was from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He was also in Sorry to Bother You, I think was the name of that movie, with the phone calls and stuff like that. He's just a really good movie. He's in a fantastic Korean movie called Burning, which he actually had to learn Korean to be in. But Stephen Yoon is just so fucking great, too. So they have a really, really great cast in this film. And he was the child actor that grew up. I guess he took his earnings from being a child actor and put money into this theme park, and which figures into the greater mystery of the movie. So we're also introduced to Angel Torres, played by Brandon Perea, who is like an AV guy that works at sort of a local electronics store.
Yep.
And he figures in to help the brother and sister catch, you know, proof of this UFO. I mean, there's plenty of UFO videos. You can see all of the fakest UFO shit. The funny thing about America is that we got footage. We got clear footage. After America is such a fucked up place at times, where politically the worst shit happens. We got fucking diseases, you know, plagues and shit, and all these political and all this racist and all this weird shit and politics. There was actual proof of fucking flying UFOs, but everything else is so fucked up, nobody cared. That's how
everybody was
wild
like,
it
that
is.
feels very small right now.
Yeah, like there's things that we can't explain that's flying in the air. I've always like, I don't know what your feeling on UFOs are. I don't know. I try to be a realist on things, or I love the idea of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know the concrete evidence of them, because everything could be faked. There's just such really good special effects, and everything's always filmed on a fucking flip
Well,
phone,
and there's also
so
so many
realistic.
things that we just can't explain still, and may never be able to, and whether those are aliens or just things that we mistake for something.
Could it be like
I have
spy
no
planes
idea.
and stuff, or even what are those things called? You throw them up in the air and they could film drones and stuff like that. Because nowadays a lot of drones are able to fucking light up and create words in the sky.
Like, it's just there's just so many possibilities of what it could be, that I think until there was real concrete, like they come down to earth and talk to somebody, I don't know that I can believe it for sure.
Right. Do I believe in life on other planets? Sure.
Sure.
I do believe that there's some form of life in other planets. Little green men, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
UFOs, who knows? I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, the idea of UFOs coming here and not going, hey, look at me, I'm an alien. Like, I would assume, but you know, if they know America would blow people away just for like running in the wrong neighborhood, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe they know
kidding.
something that obviously we don't know. But why don't we get into the correlation of Jupiter's Claim, what he's been doing in the darkness of night?
Spoilers ahead, obviously.
Spoilers,
for anybody.
guys. Don't listen. It's a recommendation from me and Thea.
It's
But
true.
like, if you want to really get into what our recommendation is about and why it works or not,
Yeah.
keep listening after. But please, Thea, spoil this movie.
So Stephen Yeun's character is the character who he's the little boy that was on set. He believes he can tame animals or something, is what I gleaned from it. Mm-hmm. He believes that he has some sort of power to do that. So he figures out that these UFOs will come down and eat things. And he's been using OJ's horses, which he's been buying because OJ's business has been failing, to draw out the alien to eat the horse and do a little show for the people that come into Jupiter's Claim. And of course that backfires because he doesn't understand what the animals are going through.
Yeah, so there's even that little part where Haywood was like, or OJ is like, oh, I want to buy the horses back. And there was like an awkward silence, which I didn't realize until later on, yeah. Yeah,
at first you sort of think he knows that OJ will never buy these horses back because he's never going to be successful again. Right. But what that pause really is, we realize later, is that he doesn't have the horses anymore. They're long gone.
Yeah.
They've been eaten.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And the way that they treat the UFO, which I thought was interesting because I'd never seen it in that aspect. Mm-hmm. Like the UFO itself, like I looked at it like if it was a flying manta ray or something. Yeah. It's actually a creature itself. It's not a UFO that's alien people inside of it. It's actually just a flying creature that lives in the sky, which is such an interesting take on a UFO because I've never seen that before in a film, and I thought that was like pretty interesting and pretty cool. I mean, I'm a standard usually. Oh, I like UFO aliens and shit like that. But I thought that for this movie itself, I thought it was pretty cool, and then to see its like final form at the end was pretty fucking incredible. Like where it turns into that, like, I think it got poisoned, right, or something like that. That's why it looked like that at the end. Or you think that was its final form, or it's like actual like?
It seemed to me that was like its bigger form that it could take, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what I didn't realize is that when OJ's saying don't look the creature in its eye, although you can't really see its eye, you only just see this gaping maw.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to read something from ScreenRant.com.
Okay.
It's a short line from why it's explaining why the shoe isn't floating at the end. It said, the movie repeatedly shows how some animals react poorly to eye contact and reflections, which is why when the chimp is looking, he's not looking directly in the kid's eye. He's looking through the veil of the table,
right?
That's on top of it.
Yeah.
The movie repeatedly shows how animals react poorly to eye contact and to reflections, which is also when they're taking video of that horse and it freaks out because it looks in the reflection of the globe.
Yeah.
While several of Ricky's co-stars were attacked by the chimpanzee, he focused on the shoe standing up instead of the bloody incident because there's a floating shoe there. It was only after the animal calmed down that Ricky and he made eye contact, which led to the ape not attacking Ricky.
Yeah.
In that regard, the miracle of the shoe standing up and nope represents a form of protection. I don't know if that sounds like horse shit to me, but
don't know about that. I actually the thing
what did you hear?
The thing that I didn't read anything yet, but
okay.
When I watched it, the thing that sets the chimp off every time is the balloons popping. In and out of his psychosis, in and out, right? So there isn't a pattern to it except for that's what breaks him out and breaks him back in. And I think
I was reading somewhere that there was a similar thing for the creature in this. That there was a similar thing that kept happening over and over. But I can't believe I just forgot what it was. But
I don't know. I thought it was correlated, the balloon anyway, to obviously the demise of the creature ultimately is an enormous balloon popping inside of it.
Yeah, I can't believe that I didn't pick up on those two things. Like I understood that this guy thought he had some sort of magical control over the animals.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that he was training. I guess, like I just thought it was just happenstance that it happened. I realized obviously this is all for a reason. I think it's a tightly written script. It's not the movie that I thought I was gonna see. I didn't know what I was gonna see with Nope. I thought it was just gonna be a sort of standard alien movie, but obviously never with his movies, because the problem with what happens to guys like Jordan Peele and let's say M. Night Shyamalan is that you're known for some weird twist. But the thing is, every first horror movie is supposed to have a twist. Even Friday the 13th had a twist to it, you know?
Most of them do.
The original one. So, like, when M. Night Shyamalan with The Sixth Sense, I won't spoil that, but I'm sure everybody knows about that one.
You don't
when
know the
that's-
twist of The Sixth Sense. Come on.
My God, I tell you this, I was on when I went to go see that film when I was a young child of 12 years old, sure, and I was watching it, and we were talking to the kid who actually seen it before us. I'm not gonna spoil what he said, but we're in the train because the kid had seen it before us. He's telling us, these three other guys, to watch the movie. He said, "You guys are gonna love this movie. You guys are gonna love this movie. You're not even gonna guess the ending." And one of our friends who didn't see the movie, he goes, "Oh, what is blank blank blank?" And it was the fucking ending of the movie.
Oh my God! He just guessed
And the
it?
guy
Yeah.
shut up real quick because he didn't know. The kid just took a wild guess.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching the movie. I'm watching the movie, going, why is this guy not reacting to this person? And I was like, fucking shit. So that's the problem with, like, because that if you weren't spoiled by that movie, and you or spoiled for that movie, when you get such a great sort of twist on it, you're judged forever with whatever twist ending or weird ending. Right. That's why, like, Us had a pretty good twist, although I think I saw it ahead of time too. Because people, like, I have a problem with listening to other people.
I got spoiled a bit,
Yeah, and but I thought it was done still pretty well. And like Shyamalan movies, like The Village, people were like shitting on The Village. So, but it was the worst twist, and I hear The Village is one of the better movies that he did. Mm-hmm. So with this movie, there's not, the twist is not like really a twist, because half an hour into the movie, because the movie is nearly 2 hours long.
Yeah.
You know what he's fighting. This is essentially Jaws in the sky.
Exactly. Yeah. Or Jurassic
so that's what
Park.
This movie
it's
is.
like
So,
it feels like those movies more to me than it does a horror movie, like a straight up and down one.
So it is essentially a smaller film that is using a huge sort of play field.
Yeah.
So you have an idea of what a UFO movie should be. You're thinking of fucking Independence Day, but this isn't really that. This is just imagine if Independence Day was only that shit blowing up the store. I mean, the White House, and that was it. That was the whole movie. So this is essentially that. You know what I mean? Because they're the same thing. They're in the sky. So that's all it is. So it is a very small story, but I think it's a really well done sort of small story for this type of thing where people are expecting big, giant, bombastic storylines. Can you get into what was there anything that didn't work for you in the movie?
Not a thing, honestly.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it from top to bottom. I also got to see it in IMAX in the theater.
Oh, great. Oh, wow.
With a very good,
IMAX will make anything look good.
It wasn't a huge crowd, but it was like a good group of people that were totally in it. And I know a friend of mine went and saw it, and I guess people were not super paying attention in that theater, so there were people like talking and stuff. And she didn't like it. And I was like, I think it's because you just weren't in it. If you're not in it every moment, then maybe it isn't for you, but I was just pulled right in.
This is certainly a movie. Yeah, this is certainly a movie where its reveal either makes it great for you or you're just like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like when you find out there's nothing more than that sort of creature in the sky, then you're like, oh, then there's no sort of intelligent design behind this. It becomes,
I loved it.
I thought it was great. Yeah. Because when you're dealing sort of with this mindless creature, then it's like a completely different film. It's like Jaws.
It's like a creature feature, essentially, after that,
And it's just so well executed. It's beautifully shot. Even like the director guy who brings in the non-electronic camera work.
Yeah, the cinematographer.
That
He's
guy's
great.
voice, obviously he was from the film The Crow, like I said, a movie everybody should watch. His voice is like fucking coffee. It's like Michael Wincott. Oh my God, that guy's voice is
At
great.
first, Hez thought it was Tom Waits.
Well, is Tom Waits still alive?
I think so. I don't know.
But I'm thinking about somebody else. Oh no, I'm thinking about Mary Jane Last Dance. I'm thinking about that guy.
Oh, Tom Petty. Yeah, Tom Petty's dead.
Yeah, whoops. So Tom Waits, I believe, is still alive.
He is still alive.
So yeah, I think the movie actually worked. Brandon Pear is great as this sort of comic relief. There's some good jump scares in here. That part where Kaluuya is walking around in the stables at night and the fake aliens, Jupiter's Claim kids come out, effectively spooky. It's not but almost as spooky as the Signs part.
Yeah,
that's the movie that it was compared to. They said this was originally like an African American version of Signs, which is not really, because Signs was a great movie too.
I liked Signs, but
I love Signs. Yeah. But the alien part in this was great because like he's on the phone, you see the alien's face coming outside of the. I thought it was a really well executed film. It's not anything that I'm sure you're expecting, because obviously when you're trying to sell the film, it has to be obtuse and obscure, and you can't really say what the fuck is happening in the movie because you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that's gonna piss people off, because they're gonna expecting this greater giant movie, and I don't know what they think about the ending of the film, because the whole ending of the film is essentially, or the goal of these characters, to catch proof of this creature.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a nice way that they did actually end up capturing it, and that they're gonna be okay after it. Hopefully they'll get rich from this photography and stuff like this. But I really did like. I actually ended up liking it, and I'm with you on liking it more than Us, and liking it about just slightly under Get Out, because I think Get Out had some great like comedy in it.
Yeah.
Like Lil Del Rey and stuff like that.
Although there was some good stuff in this movie too.
There is like
the Nope moment when he's in the car and the power goes out and the music is playing and he's like, and if the aliens are right above him and he's just like, nope, is a beautiful.
It was
scene.
realistic, yeah, and I like that he co-opted such a popular phrase that's been used for like at least for the last 10 years of Nope. I ain't doing that. Nope. But I gotta say, I loved the chimp stuff.
It was really dark, but it was
that was
very
really
effective.
Disturbing. I really loved it, and the CGI is just tad wonky on it, but I thought it got done what it was needing to do. What rating would you give? You have anything else to say about this movie? Is there anything that you wanted to bring up about it?
I guess the only thing is, I think there's a quote off the top, and I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's about spectacle. And that was the thing that I was sort of thinking about afterwards, which is like this combination of trying to capture this alien and also the chimp and not understanding the animals, like including the horses. Sort of using things for spectacle that we don't understand, and then it backfiring because we didn't take the time to do that.
I think I have the quote right here. Do I? Yes, I do. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, here we go. The specific quote, this is from Screen Rant also. The specific quote is from the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 6. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a spectacle. So... That's a pretty deep quote at the beginning.
Cool.
Also, they have a great song in the movie at the end when they're trying to set everything up with the flippy dancer creatures. This song called Obadiah Man. That is a spooky song. Like you can see the poster. It's like this sort of painting of a guy's face. It was from the 50s, I believe, but it's a really unsettling song, but it's really good. I think it's a great film from Jordan Peele, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of shit from like old school horror fans or the quote unquote real horror fans. But I think the guy's legit. The guy loves making like interesting horror films. He's doing something fucking different that's cool. Like enjoy your horror films and then watch this. Give it a chance. Don't just shit on it,
Yeah.
Believe me, I've seen some modern horror movies that are horrible and I won't watch them, and I'm just like, okay, if I don't have to care, you kind of just move on with your life. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, and it's also like not everything has to be for you.
Right, and the thing is, you're more welcome to your opinion, but when your opinion is just like to automatically insult, and the thing is, I do that too with movies like Terrorizer Part 2 because I know it's gonna be bad. So I mean, like I'm not innocent of that. Like, but like just because of its some weirder aspects, because like the race issue or some shit like that, at least give it a chance. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do with this? You can't really change society in that chance. But what rating would you give Nope 2022?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. For me, it's a 10. It's a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Weird alien suits that you let your children wear out at night to scare your neighbors.
See, the thing is, when I was watching, I thought Jupiter's Claim was going to be like a UFO cult. It never went that way. But I thought it was going to be like this sort of weird, and for some reason I thought of Mars Attacks, which for some reason now is getting a lot of love, Mars Attacks, so good for them.
I mean, it's a great movie.
It is. It's a fun movie. Also, two things is when all those people get sucked up into the UFO or the creature.
So scary.
Very spooky, because then you see like the alien's eye is this like
there's so many there's so many great images and so many great things like. And the blood rain on the house, like just
the
everything.
part when the lady is like first sucked up into and she's inside the belly of this creature, and then she looks up and you can see the skull of the horse like above her.
Yeah.
And you find out why you hear that, why it sounds like screaming, and it's like just thinking about it now, I'm getting goosebumps.
It's
I'm like,
so
like,
crazy. Yeah.
so I could rewatch this. Like I would love. I'm gonna like rewatch this on a bigger screen because it was so fucking good. So I too would give it a. I would give it a. I was saying 8.5, but I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. Just sort of relaxing, trying to get proof, and a fucking praying mantis gets in the way. And with that, Thea, what's the final word?
Velvet.